I offered today. I'm actually changing.
Getting comfortable at being uncomfortable.
Being a giver, not receiving. I think that's the whole thing, and that's why I'm very comfortable with saying no and having my own space first, because I know that I add more value and I give more of myself.
Usually the ones that suffer are the kids, right? Because you're like, don't bother me, I can't deal with you. Because you're texting at the same time, you're understanding that you're not going to get what you want, or you're not getting what you deserve. Namaste, amigos. This is Vanessa and Aisha, two wildly passionate women coming to you from opposite sides of the world, Australia and Mexico. This podcast is for you, about you, all of us, all women from all walks of lives, sharing our stories, our truths, our struggles as we uplift, transform, break boundaries, and grow.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of Namaste, amigos. Let me just say, Vanessa, you're looking so bright and glowing today. So I'm telling you, you're standing out today. I was like, what's going on? Anyway, just wanted to say hello to everyone. And today's topic is about non-negotiables. To be honest, this is something that I naturally had a little bit of, but as I've got older, I'm really good at having boundaries. You know, it's another way of creating boundaries for yourself and for others. And as parents, you know that if you don't have your shit together, if there's not some sort of boundaries, or I don't like to call it rules, guides, I'll call it guides, shit can go crazy pretty fast. And so I think it's healthy. I think discipline in many aspects of parenting is healthy. I think boundaries are healthy. I think non-negotiables are fucking healthy, emotionally, mentally, and even physically. So that's our topic for today. What are our non-negotiables? Vanessa, hit it off, woman. What are some of yours?
You call them, I don't mind calling them rules. I do have a bunch of rules. And
I'm that rebel child. I fucking hate that word rules. So I'm
I did too. I totally did too. But I feel like I run my household like a boat. Like everybody.
A boat?
Yeah, like a boat. Like on a boat, everybody has like a role they play. Not if you're on a yacht and you're the one sipping champagne, like an actual boat. Not your type of boat. A boat like an actual like Captain Hook type of boat, you know? Everybody has like a place that they have to actually drape the sails and put the rope. And so it becomes like, for me, my house really has become like that. And I think being a single mom, I try to keep it very much like we wake up and it's like go
Yeah.
you know? And it's, for me, it's you're right. The word rules is not great, but it's I tell Chloe it's her responsibilities. She has responsibilities in this house, and I have mine, and we have to hold each other accountable. And I think when you've got younger kids, you feel like the whole world is falling on you, because you can't actually really delegate unless, they're starting to wobble and you're like, here, take the sock, and, they'll put it somewhere else. But once they get a little older, it's easier to really kind of be like, okay, well, you're 5. So at 5, I started having her like clean her plate. Let me show you how to clean your plate. Obviously, she's not cleaning my plate because it's a glass plate. But, so things like that, we started really kind of dealing with. I'm a neat freak, unfortunately, like freak.
Yeah, same. I feel you.
And I get really, really disturbed when I see a mess.
Yeah.
I'm not good in my house with a mess. So my big thing was, great, your room, you have to clean up your room. So from a very young age, Chloe has had the responsibility of cleaning up her toys. And before, mommy used to help her. Now she does it alone. And
Love
so
it.
sometimes she has friends that come over and they will destroy the room. And
Yeah.
she knows me so well, and I must have lost it on her so many times that right before they leave, she's like, Mom, everybody's leaving. Can you tell them all to help me clean the room?
Love it.
Because she knows she's going to be stuck with it.
Yeah.
And so she's very clear on that. Um, Dirty laundry. Like before it was like, oh, I get home and she would undress and I'd be like, no, put it, we've got a dirty hamper, put it there. Like I'm not
Mm.
expecting you to clean your clothes at 6, but put it in the dirty laundry,
Yeah. Yep.
you know?
Yep.
Today I lost it on her because I just got back from a very tiring trip. And um, for the past 2 days, she's been eating in my coffee table, kind of like yours, in front of the TV, and there's crumbs, and or she's spilt drinks, and or so I've been telling her 2 days, Chloe, why don't you just eat at the table? Don't eat there
Yeah.
because you're distracted with the TV. The
Yep.
yogurt falls on the floor. You're picking it up badly. Just eat on the table. Today, she did it again. I lost it.
Three strikes, you're out.
3 strikes and you're way out. Way out. And yeah, I mean, some of those things just drive me crazy because I think since I live in Mexico here, it's very common for people to have housekeepers, live-in
Mm.
housekeepers. And so she sees all her friends that have a live-in housekeeper that is constantly cleaning behind her friends.
Yep.
And that's a program, right? That's a condition of, oh, I don't have to do it.
Yep.
So
Yep.
most of her friends don't really have to clean up. I have someone that comes and helps me out once a week and does deep cleaning of my house. The rest of the week, I am neurotic enough that my house stays spotless.
Mm.
But I don't have someone that, cleans up after my kitchen after I'm cooking, cleans up after Chloe after she's done making a mess. So it's constant work. And
Mm.
at a point, it's just exhausting when you have to do that. Also
Yep.
take them to school, also work, also take care of family. It's
Yep.
exhausting.
Yep. Spot on. And I think it's very, very funny how similar we are because one of my non-negotiables is mess in my environment, right? Or clutter. I fucking
Yeah,
hate
clutter.
clutter as well. And when I was listening to you, same thing. And in India, they have every house has a house help live in, or they come every day. And growing up in Australia, I didn't. And so I look at that, and as you're saying it, I thought, wow, it's really, really similar how we have the same non-negotiable, right? And I was wondering why. As you were speaking, I was thinking, why? And for me, it's like as a single parent or even as a mother, right? When you're a new mom, when you're going through like being at home, looking after your kids and that, there's so much that goes on into doing that you need a space where you don't feel it's overwhelming,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It's almost like the outside is balancing off how much you actually have on your plate. Now imagine, like, as a mom or a working mom or a single parent or whatever, you have a very, very cluttered and disorganized environment as well as the internal state. It's a fucking train wreck. That is actually overwhelming. And I think for me, in order to balance out if I'm doing this, that, because you have a very fucking busy life, right? I have 3 kids. Like, mine is now starting to settle, but man, I started this shit 21 years ago. I fucking know how busy it was to have 3 kids in the car just to go get milk because there's no other option, right? So yes, my environment had to be very, very clear, clean, decluttered, so that I could find that energy state from the environment, because I knew internally I was like a fucking machine. Right. So I think, that's why we are so massive on having that space, having that cleanliness, having that, packing stuff up, putting it in its own place and everything. So definitely that's also on my list. Another one that I've really stepped into more now than ever is fucking having my own time and being able to say no.
Mm.
Like, really have really stepped into that authentic self
That's the
of,
luxury of having teenagers, ladies and gentlemen.
some might argue, they're probably going through hell with their teenagers, but hey, I really love my own time and space. Like, man, it's sacred to me. And I do not compromise that for nothing and for no one. Like, nothing. And I'm very cool to say no now. Like, I do not feel bad. And so that is such a non-negotiable for me too, because two things, right? It recharges me, obviously. I feel like, hey, when I'm investing in time or effort with someone or something, I'm all in, like I'm present. Yes. And internally, see, there's no point you having a fucking conversation with your mate, but internally, like, I don't want to be here. Yeah. So it recharges the battery for sure. But also, think about it. I'm there with you, but internally, I don't want to be there. I want to get out. So the whole time I'm physically there, but I'm actually not present because I'm like, I would be thinking about not wanting to be here. I'm tired. I don't really like you and all that shit. Right. So I do reckon that when you do give yourself that time, you're always going to show up um authentically. You're always going to be present with the people you want to. You're going to invest in the spaces and places where you want to, right? And you're not going to, time is the actual value. It is not money, it is not things, it's not accumulating products or that, right? But I'm thinking, where do I really want to invest my time? Who do I want to invest it with? And when you learn to set boundaries and say no, and when you learn to also give yourself time, you're actually increasing your energetic level and how you feel and stuff. Trust me, you give out more. You actually are able to give a lot more of yourself than you think by, playing the whole I'm going to be of service only and not receive. That's bullshit, because you're gonna be so exhausted and you're gonna come from a place where you're not even doing it for the right reason. You're doing it to try and look good, like look like a nice person. And I think that's the whole thing, and that's why I'm very comfortable with saying no and having my own space first, because I know that I add more value and I give more of myself, but authentically, like wanting to, not wanting to be a good person. No.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think, at the end of the day, every every family needs to have some type of non-negotiable, however that works out for them, and
Yeah.
however it works in their family. But I believe that, as you said, time is, especially when you're going through a breakup or a divorce, um, that's usually on your mind taking over. And because usually it's not an amicable type
Hmm.
of situation. Usually the ones that suffer are the kids, right? Because you're like,
Hmm.
don't bother me, I can't deal with you. Because you're texting at the same time, you're understanding that you're not going to get what you want, or you're not getting what you deserve. And your kid's like, can we go to the park? And you're no, we don't have any money to go to the park. What?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many mothers I know that do this,
Wow.
and it's really, I think you're right. There comes a time when, especially, to be conscious of, if you're with your child, then maybe you don't need to be answering right away your lawyer or your ex, because you
Hmm.
know you're going to get triggered. And that's just us using a little bit of emotional intelligence instead of just, we need to get to it right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me juggle 20 things
Yeah.
so that all of them go to shit.
Yeah. 100%.
So I think that's a very, very valid point. Well, I hope that this episode was as enlightening to you as it was to me. We'd love to hear back from our viewers. What are your non-negotiables? And do you take and value your me time, however that looks like? And that can be 5 minutes in the bathroom, by the way.
Mm.
Today, I get to go to the bathroom alone, and it's amazing. It's
You stepped
amazing.
it up, girl. You've stepped it up.
It's amazing. So, on that note, if you like our channel, please subscribe and leave us your comment. Aisha, always a pleasure.
Love you, girl.